Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Saints Gaming CA Twitch channel. Here, of course, your home for the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team. Tonight, the League of Legends team gets back underway. First time since the winter, or since the fall semester rather, over the Christmas break. It's the first match they do get to play. Of course, they've been scrimming. This is the first one that actually matters, of course, for some collegiate League of Legends. My name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danner. Is going to be your producer and host here for tonight's matchup. Of course, it's going to be St. Clair College up against York University. Now, should be an interesting one nonetheless. York, I know, they kind of took out our Hearthstone team earlier. I think it was last week. So our League of Legends squad, of course, would absolutely love to be able to maybe get a bit of a revenge for our Hearthstone brethren. But nonetheless, completely different game, completely different set of strategies moving forward here, and a completely different roster for the most part here on our League of Legends squad. We get a couple of returning faces, a couple of the same faces, and then one person making his collegiate debut here with us tonight. Of course, the roster for tonight is going to be Kubra 3. He is the new member, the new blood here on the Saints team. Then we have Active Force. He was here on the squad playing the jungler position. I think maybe it was a semester or 2 or 3 semesters ago here for St. Clair. Took a little bit of time off, and now he's back ready to rock here for our Saints squad. And Frez is sticking on the team. This time, though, he's in mid lane. We'll touch on that a little bit later on in this pre-show. And then down in the bot lane, you still have Lazi and you still have Miensfo. So should be an interesting battle nonetheless here. We're still awaiting the roster of the York University team, actually. Let's quickly take a look over to see if they're all there. Not quite there yet. So while we're taking a look at it, let's take a look at some of the points of interest that I think you may want to keep tabs on as this match happens. Of course, that's your producer's prospects. So, of course, we kind of touched on it a second ago. Frez is back home, back from top lane. Now he's in mid lane. Originally, when he was brought onto the team, he was a mid lane player. Had to learn top in order to find his spot on the squad, was doing a fantastic job, but at the same time you could tell that his comfort level up in the top lane was not necessarily as strong as maybe his mid lane prowess, because there was many times where we had seen on the broadcasts where he would get caught by jungler ganks, they would camp him up there and he wouldn't know how to handle it. But now that he's back in the mid lane, this is of course, like I was saying, where he essentially learns competitive League of Legends. We'll get to see how he pulls off there. We mentioned before too that Active Force, he returns, but he's not playing with any of the same teammates that he would have played with back when he was on the team. So this is basically a brand new team that he's working with here. How is communication? How will the team handle it? And we'll have to see how quickly he's gotten to getting used to his new teammates, considering he basically had a week of scrimming, and granted, they've definitely been scrimming a ton. And of course, from looking at scrims, of course, Lazi, the AD carry here for our Saints, has been doing a bunch of streams of their scrimmages. Was able to kind of sit in and catch how it's been going. And I think the eyes are going to be on that bot lane duo of Lazi and Miensfo. Time and time again, we see them, a lot of focus, rather, on that bot lane. Get Lazi ahead, Miensfo there making the plays. We'll probably see Active Force look to try and make some plays down there as well. And if Lassie gets ahead, it is usually GG for the opposing squad. Of course, anything can happen, though, in League. And then last but not least, of course, is the fact that this is Cooper 3's. This is Curtis Deniv up in the top lane now. This is his collegiate debut here for St. Clair. Of course, you may have possibly recognize the name, and you may be wondering kind of why I'm working solo here today, because both the people that I would have on commentary here with me today are now on the team one way or another. So Curtis Deneve, of course, was doing some commentary for us a little bit in the end of last season, was on the club team, but has worked his way up and is now, of course, in the top lane. And then, of course, Shadi Hanna, wondering where Zeddy is. Well, he's actually coaching this team. You could hear him constantly during the scrims as well, dropping the insights and giving the knowledge towards his team and putting them in the right direction, especially with a somewhat newer squad or people playing in different positions. Definitely at a good helping hand moving forward into tonight's match. A brief moment here. Looks like some of the members are still on their way here, and this could be rather interesting. I think we do have the York University roster now. It looks like we have Chicken Delivery. We have Jungler and Pain playing jungle, and I guess that's fair. Okay. Cabstract, Logia, and Invent. That being said, however, Cabstract and Logia have not played a single ranked game all season so far. Which, like, normally, of course, rank isn't everything, but usually if you're playing somewhat competitive, I feel like you'd have some ranked games in you. But I could be wrong, could be surprising. Taking a look at the other, though, Chicken Delivery, Jungler, and Pain and Invent have been, of course, playing, and they are Diamond-level players. For our Saints squad, our lowest is a Plat 4, and it looks like our highest is a Diamond 1. Of course, that being said, teamed League of Legends, teamed competitive League of Legends compared to solo queue, duo queue mentality, two completely different games, essentially. What may work in solo queue will absolutely get stomped away in teamed battles. And it looks like they're just in process of reviewing EGG. So just comparing rosters and whatnot. So one thing I do want to get across before we do end up hopping into our first draft phase of the evening is, of course, thanking the sponsors that do make this all happen. Of course, that being St. Clair College itself, Tim Hortons, St. Clair SRC, Zeckelman School of Business and Information Technology, St. Clair College Alumni Association, and PC Outlet. Absolutely would not be able to do this without you. And of course, would not be able, or not that we wouldn't be able to, but it wouldn't be fulfilling if I didn't see everybody, of course, in the chat. It's always a pleasure having everybody here. League of Legends, I know, sometimes is one of the rowdiest crowds around, and I absolutely love it. Just be respectful out there. But otherwise, like, y'all are fantastic. And I thank you for being here already so soon here. Match is just about to get underway. We are in process of pro draft. Oh, we're actually not going to be going into pro draft. We'll be just using the in-game client, it looks like. So right around the corner, it looks like, once again. And while we do await for them to get started, I actually do want to fire off one other quick note that it may feel like it's too early, but it isn't at all. We're already recruiting for fall 2021, the September semester. And as you can see, solid lineup of games there. If you are tired of being on the viewers' point of view and you want to be on the competitor's point of view, be sure to drop your application on our website. Of course, stclairsaints.ca/join, or scholarships are available. And I know one of the ones that kind of snuck onto this graphic here, Valorant. Of course, Riot's other title, but for FPS players. That might be something that you are interested in. If you want to come give it a shot, put your money where your mouth, or not even put your money where your mouth is, put the application into our website as fast as possible. It's never too early. Get involved. Players are just in process of doing one quick check here. Of course, there was a new champion that came out in League of Legends, but not available for competitive play just yet. Sure enough, okay, as you can hear, it is time to get into the game. So without further ado, thank you for waiting along here with me. We're going to hop right on into it. Of course, it's going to be St. Clair on the right side in this situation with York University on the left. Going to take a look, and it's going to be the Kaisa ban right off the bat here for St. Clair. Do not want to deal with it at all. She's been extremely powerful in scrims for both sides. It feels like if Lassie doesn't get it, the other side gets it, and it's absolutely devastating. One thing from the scrims that I've been watching as well, I would not be surprised to see if Aphelios gets taken off the field, as it appears just such a painfully difficult champion to try and hold down. Stop him from becoming a hyper carry. The actual bans in this situation, so of course Kaisa and Pantheon getting taken off for St. Clair. One more on the board as well. Olaf and Nunu getting taken off in regards to junglers, and there's a Samira on the side of York getting taken away as well. They're going to hover the new champion just to troll us out here, but of course that's not going to be locked in. Misfortune is the final ban here for St. Clair in this first wave of bans, and we get to see who does York University actually prioritize in picking in this situation. It's going to be the Jhin, going to take care of their bot laner first. Of course, Lassie, that's probably his go-to when Kaisa was taken off the board. It's going to force him onto a champion that, of course, he's probably experienced with, but he probably would have much preferred to have that Jhin on his side. And we're going to see the champion that I constantly butcher their name, I think Seraphine, looking to be hovered in this case here. Sure enough, that is going to be the case, so I think it's going to be Miensfo taking care of that one. And Clair opts to take their complete bot lane right away, or are they going to switch it up a bit here? Of course, Active Force picking this one here for St. Clair. And it's going to be the Shen. They're going to pass this one over to Kubra 3 likely. We've seen, or I seen him earlier in a scrim picking that one up. Of course, picking up the pieces essentially where Frez would be. We would constantly see Frez playing Shen for a long time during that, especially the early portions of the fall season. So Cooper going to pick that one up as Frez, of course, is now in the mid lane. Jungler in Pain is going to pick up the Gangplank here for likely chicken delivery. I feel like Gangplank could probably mow Shen over, so this could be a rough debut here for Cooper 3 if he is not careful. First, one more pick on the side of York here. A couple seconds left to go, and they are going to pick up the Pike support here for Invent, so extremely aggressive bot lane possibly here for the side of York University. Now, do we see a Zoe get picked up in this situation? I know that is a pick that Frez is a fan of, and they're actually not going to go for it. Draven is locked in. Here I am talking about things they've done in scrims and strategies and whatnot, and then Lassie just completely throws everything that I know completely to the wind. Frez going to pick up Draven for Lassie. Now, Draven, of course, you pick that when you're cocky. Like, that is interesting to say the least, considering, yes, he does a boatload of damage, but like the main portion of his kit is to make sure that you can secure yourself some kills. So this may be a very bot-centered battle once again, which I guess does suit how St. Clair have been playing in the past. Navia going to get taken off the board, so no permanent wave clear there. Galio taken off the board here for St. Clair. Granted, there's not exactly been much AP-centric focus here for either of these sides, really. Least going to be the final jungler ban. That one must be targeted right at Jungler in Pain, and Silas going to be the final one. So now we get to see what the roundup of this team will be. Lassie looking to pick either the mid laner, more than likely, or the jungler on the side of St. Clair. We'll get to see momentarily. How did Hecarim actually get let through for so long here? That is very surprising to me. Going to get the pony, so the hard engage, but yet tanky boy here. Going to be Active Force piloting that champion, of course. Now we get to see York University. See how they round up their team composition. Pretty standard Graves jungler in this situation. One more available. They saved, I would believe this would be their mid laner for last. Corki being hovered here for Cabstract. Playing around with things a little bit here, switching up to possibly Orianna. And it looks like that's going to be what gets locked in here. Sure enough, it is going to be the Orianna. Now, of course, Frez saved his pick for last as well in this situation. Miansfo going to pick that one up for him here in a moment. So I would not be surprised to see a Zoe in this situation, but it could be wrong. How about no? It's going to be the Rakan coming out here. Is that a Seraphine mid? That is going to be the case, actually. Going to completely prove me wrong once again, and that is a-okay. Of course, being on the broadcast, I constantly keep saying I don't mind being wrong. I like learning new things here, and Fred's going to catch me off guard here with this Seraphine pick. I did not see him play that anytime recently, so cool to see. And then Draven here for Lousy, Rakan from Miansfo. The entire mid bot and support absolutely all boggling my mind in this scenario here. Meanwhile, on the side of York University, of course, so Chicken Delivery going to be up there in the gang playing Jungler and Pain on the Graves. Orianna is going to be played by Cabstract. Logia going to be playing Jhin, and Invent is going to be playing the Pyke. So, an interesting bunch of champions here for game number 1. Of course, this is best of 3 action here in this Collegiate League of Legends set. Looking forward to seeing how everything ends up going down. And Frez is going to catch me off guard with this Seraphine pick. I know I mentioned that earlier, of course. I'm taking a look at this York University squad here. Normally, you kind of want somebody to be able to go in for that Orianna ball. I really don't see that unless you've just put it on Graves as he dashes in, but he's not exactly the most tankiest of champions to be able to do that. So it feels like a lot of these, a lot of the picks here for York University are here just to try and win their lane, because I don't really see the synergy here. Like bot lane, Jhin, Pyke, okay, that's going to be aggressive-ish. You're going up against Draven and Rakan, who is ready to fight you head-on. So that will be an absolute bloodbath in that bot lane. Seraphine versus Orianna, I feel like that's just going to be a farm lane for the most part here. And then up top, in theory, the gangplank of Chicken Delivery should be able to push around Cooper 3 at least a little bit. But as long as Cooper 3 isn't dying constantly on the Shen, then in theory they should be a-okay moving forward into the mid and late game. They'll just be big on that, of course, that bot lane. That is a lot of marbles put into that bot lane, to say the least. Of course, for all the League of Legends here, or all the League of Legends fans here today, just want to also give you all a heads up and quickly as we wait for this spectator delay to go through. I'm going to take a look at our schedule coming up, because there's actually more than one League of Legends game this week, as we have one tomorrow as well, Saturday 3 p.m. versus Worcester Polytechnic Institute, and that's going to be the start of the CLOL season. Looking forward to seeing how that one ends up going. And Saturday's actually a doubleheader, because there's also Rainbow Six Siege Collegiate, or R6 Collegiate Championships. And then 2 games of Call of Duty up in the future as well. Of course, Thursday and Friday. That's actually an opening tournament. And then I'm absolutely all over the place. I apologize for that. But then Sunday, of course, 5 p.m. Face It CSGO continues as well. Looking forward to seeing all of these matches. The season is just getting underway for all of our Saints here. And I say it constantly, but looking forward to absolutely everything. 30 seconds here before we hop into the game. Of course, eyes will be on that bot lane, of course, with Draven and Rakan. But at the same time, one thing I'm going to be paying special attention to is seeing how Active Force handles himself after having a bit of a break from the Saints squad, but coming back with having a new squad compared to what he played with. Now, this Hecarim, this tells me that the coach, Shadi, and the rest of the teams, Ozedi and the squad, have put a lot of faith in him into putting the decisions when to engage and when not to engage. Because, of course, Hecarim's ultimate and whatnot, being able to just dive right in and fear everybody he hits, that is a bit of an all-in tool. I mean, you go into the middle of a team fight and your team isn't following up with you, well, I mean, you just get turned on and die. So we'll have to see what happens there. It's going to be one of the few times that I actually quickly hop into the Twitch chat here because I want to see what you guys are thinking about this. The Ori doesn't make a ton of sense outside of a comfort plick, but at the same time, they do have good wave clear and a decent amount of, or a good late game nonetheless. So it makes sense. And also, WS, thank you for that subscription, Tier 1. Big thank you. Appreciate the support here for the Saints program. And without further ado, the bells are ringing. It's time to get into the action. Game number 1. About to go down. Do a quick couple last minute fixes so that the viewing experience is perfect for all of you at home. And 3, 2, 1, let's get in the game.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Basic line of scrimmage to start things off here. Jungler and Pain looking to play around with active force off the start. I like that Cabstract is kind of there to back him up as well. That being said, though, Frez able to kind of tag him, Jungler and Pain, just a little bit, but it's not going to be anything too insane to worry about in this situation. Possible red start here for active force, but after taking a good chunk of damage, he is going to actually have to recall in this situation. But he should be able to get back just in time before any actual damage is done.
Minions have spawned.
Jungler and Pain and Chicken Delivery, though, going to meet up with Cooper 3 here up in the bush. And this could actually be a little bit messy here. Cooper 3 going to be forced to flash right away as they're going to be charging in for that red buff, it looks like. That being said, though, Active Force is here. And Fresa Seraphine is right around the corner as well. Cabstract is going to call that out, however. Cooper taking about half of his HP and damage already in this situation. Frez has arrived, however, not going to make contact with that shot. Active Force checks the bush. He's going to take a massive chunk of damage here. Chicken Delivery going to go shot for shot with him, however. And here's Miensfo. He's came from the bot lane, and he puts the Pain here onto Chicken Delivery. One more shot. Flash. Can somebody tap him? He is going to be able to get it. After having a lot of harassment sent his way, Active Force going to return to the squad, get first blood right away, and now are they going to try and push us even further onto Jungler in Pain? I would definitely think that might be a little bit of an overextension, at least for Active Force. But Jungler in Pain has to push us forward actually now. Chicken Delivery using his teleport right away. Kuba 3, can he make it back in time? He does not have his shield. He's going to go down for the first time as a Saint before the minions even make contact after a very awkward scuffle here in the jungle. Battling continuing on here. It's just so strange to see. Jungler and Pain might be in for a world of hurt here. Cooper 3 going to do exactly what Chicken Delivery did. Uses teleport right away. Never mind the minions. We're just going to keep battling in the jungle. Why don't we? Frez, he's in for a world of hurt. Force the flash. Chicken Delivery is still level 1 in this situation. Holy smokes. Normally don't see something like that so soon here in a game of League of Legends, but they're keeping it interesting for us all here today, putting on a show nonetheless here. But now that the chaos has settled, it's finally time to get back into farming. Right now, a little bit of pressure being put onto the bot side towers from Logia and Invent. Shoving Lazia right into his turret. Of course, I'm getting level 2 first in that scenario. We're able to do exactly that. Good little taunt as it's going to be Cooper 3 who's going to be able to get level 2 first, and he's been able to do a ton of damage actually onto Chicken Delivery. This is going to be an extremely aggressive bloodbath of a match. I figured it was just going to be the bot lane that was going to be a scuffle, but it's actually going to be all around this entire map. Going to be fun, as we now see. It's going to be Cabstract. Bit of a roam here coming out from Invent, but at the same time, Active Force was right there as well. Jungler in Pain is going to be able to get involved as well. Cabstract going to get himself the kill onto Active Force. What's weird, you don't expect the support player from, of course, bot side to roam up that quickly. And Invent on the pike, of course, I think he was invisible as well, so he was able to sneak his way up there and get the elimination or help with the elimination. Get Cabstract going here. Because, of course, Orianna, like the chat was mentioning before, one of those characters. One good wave clear, of course, but does also become an absolute monster the later this game goes. Probably got ourselves another kerfuffle here in the jungle around the St. Clair blue buff. But halfway through, who's going to get it here? He's going to go to Jungler in Pain. Active Force absolutely not having any of it. Going to then try and turn onto Invent. Invent gets down to about half HP, but is going to hang on for dear life. There's some decent chunks here coming out from Lassie. Jungler in Pain is absolutely dying here in this situation. One more shot for the Draven, and that's going to be the jump start that Lassie was looking for. The heal from Lassie going to keep Active Force alive, but Cabstract from the other side going to be able to turn this around. That's going to make it so that the jungler cannot get to the dragon in time. They cannot try to turn that in for some additional profits without worrying about a smite war. So we have ourselves a 3-4-3. We have 6 kills before 5 minutes. Absolutely loving this here today. Good little taunt there from Kubra. A little bit of extra wet noodle damage on the side of Chicken Delivery. Tit for tat here up in the top lane. I was going to give credit to Logia too, because he's been off to a fantastic start in regards to his farming. However, with Lassie finding himself 2 eliminations here so early in this game, been absolutely able to pay out that the stacks that he would have had. He wouldn't have had too many, but still being able to get a little bit of a boost ahead is absolutely fantastic nonetheless. And let's see, what exactly did he get to pick up here? Does have the new quiver. Okay, some additional attack speed and damage, plus being able to take down monsters a little bit quicker. A nice little boost nonetheless. Meanwhile, on the side of the Jhin, he's mainly going for armor and move speed. So yeah, right now, in that bot lane, Lassie can absolutely chunk anybody if he does manage to find himself a fight. Meanwhile, it looks like Logia and Invent are now just completely content on trying to extend the lead in regards to farming, if they can do it safely. We did see there just for a second, Lassie pushing Invent away. Is probably going to do the same once Logia gets around here too. Because if there's anybody who knows how to play around a Jhin on the St. Clair squad, it is definitely going to be Lassie and Miensfoe. Miensfoe dives forward, not going to find it, but it's going to still be a little bit of damage coming out here from Lassie. Didn't chunk as hard as I was expecting, but now going to be able to chase things forward here. Some good damage coming out here from Lassie. He's really just fixated here onto Logia, then turn it around here onto Invent as he starts to go down just a little bit. Nice little knock up there from Miensfoe, flashing away. Frez is also in a world of hurt here, has to run away. But actually Lassie forced to run away as well. Miensfoe going to keep him topped off. That bot lane trade actually not going in St. Clair's favor really in the slightest. That being said here, coming in hot, we have Active Force charging through Logia. It's going to probably be for lunch here. The pony's hungry and wants some kills. Chasing down, Logia's going to be down, but not quite out. They're really trying to pass this over to Draven, but he's going to be taken down before anything happens, and this is going to be an absolute nightmare here. Sure, Logia went down, but the double kill, Active Force is going to try and at least trade this 3 for 2. Not going to be the case. Triple kill over to Jungler in Pain. And painful indeed was that altercation. They really waited too long trying to give Lassie that kill to, of course, get him some more stacks. Now he loses the stacks and goes down in that situation. Of course, picking up the Draven gets you rather bloodthirsty. You want a showboat. That's exactly what that champion's all about. But sometimes it does backfire. So now 4 kills actually in the pocket of Jungler in Pain. That is going to be rather difficult to deal with. And they're going to extend that even further by having Jungler in Pain just take the dragon himself. Infernal Drake now in the pocket as well, and that is going to help boost this lead here now for York University. Put themselves in a solid position so far here. There's still lots of time here in this game. Still extremely early. And unfortunately here up in the top lane, that's kind of what we expected to see, as that Chicken Delivery is doing exactly what he needs to against Kubra here. And really zoning him away from minions, doubling his CS in this situation. Now Frez in the mid lane, getting ganked once again here. Invent is going to catch him, and a solid shot there from Cabstract. And I mean, Deja vu from the top lane. Of course, it's going to be Frez getting ganked, and he goes down after a nice little shockwave coming out of Cabstract, cast by Invent. I guess that's one thing I didn't really take consideration of, is if that is, of course, Pyke being invisible. Throwing the ball onto an invisible target is absolutely devastating, so would definitely catch somebody off guard in that scenario. Some ultimates available now, so we could start seeing some plays being set up in this situation here for St. Clair. Of course, you got Active Force ready to go. Kubra did have Stand United, but it is currently on cooldown, so something must have went down. Maybe tried to save Frez, and it was too little too late. Yeah, 3,000 gold in the plus here for York University. Definitely an odd game nonetheless, though. That earlier engagement in the jungle, that level 1 fight, that felt like it went on forever. It looked like Saints were able to really profit off of it, but it ended up just being a bit of a back and forth. You see Jungler in pain making a return towards that mid lane, knowing that that flash is down there on Frez, and we do have a DC here, as it looks like Cabstract has disconnected from the game. Alright, so unfortunately we're going to have to hang on for just a moment here. It would be back momentarily, it looks like. The quickest little DC, but okay. So Saints, early on in this game, of course, just over the 10-minute mark. Not in the lead, a little bit behind here. 3,000 gold already this early on. Could be a little bit brutal, and actually, we're going to hop right back into this. It looks like they're already underway again. But with them having a bit of an early game comp, it felt like, in regards to that bot lane, it could be brutal. And then Frez is already getting picked apart here once again in this mid lane. We'd mentioned earlier in the pre-show, of course, like, sure, he's back in mid, but what will change? As of right now, it seems like Cabstract and Hunger and Pain and Vent, everybody just giving Frez like all the pain in the world, targeting him down, just making things messy. Saint's going to opt for a little bit of a consolation prize, being a little bit of tower plating. But Jungler and Pain making his way down bot. Lassie wants to get aggressive. They're going to really try and get aggressive with it, as it's going to be the charge in there from Active Force. Shut down onto Jungler and Pain, going over to Lassie. Perfect situation here. Cooper 3 also here as well. Active Force is about to get marked. He is, in fact, going to go down to Invent, but still the 2-for-1 in the favor of St. Clair. But at the same time, though, Cabstract, he's already plowed through 2 of these center turrets. Really giving Frez a hard time here in this game. Charm coming out here, though. Frez trying to make something happen. He gets so dang close, but he's not going to be able to close it out. Cooper 3 on the way to that mid lane to maybe try and make something happen. Can he find the flank? Cabstract's looking to just get aggressive on the Frez. He's going to for sure lock the kill on the Frez, and Kubra is slowed down. He might be able to actually turn this onto Kubra if he's not careful. Flash's force shockwave is barely not going to come out. The last second shot there from Active Force just saves Kubra. Had that actually channeled, he would have been toast. Invent's getting a little bit overzealous, however, was trying to mess with the back from Lassie and is going to take over half of his health here for his troubles. Granted, he could heal a bunch of it back while he's in that invisible form. This could be trouble now. We do see Mansfo getting harassed this a little bit, and Invent actually popping the Ignite onto him a little bit prematurely. Still sitting there about half health in this situation. Yeah, Frez has definitely had himself a rough first game here back from the winter break. Nonetheless, we do now see Jungler and Pain looking to maybe harass Mansfo and Lassie. Going to chase him away from the turret, which should actually allow Logia and Invent to at least get a bunch of plates, but in theory they should be able to take this tower right down. Yeah, They might be running out of minions in regards to trying to take this down completely, but they're going to probably find themselves at least one more plate here, and it looks like they're going to be able to take this dragon pretty well uncontested as well, all the way down to like less than a quarter HP, and there's nobody from St. Clair anywhere nearby. There's no vision on that spot in the slightest either. So, free dragon for St. Clair. Capstract finds Active Force in the jungle and is going to absolutely murk him unless he ults away. Was successfully able to do that with less than a quarter HP remaining. Cooper is there for backup as well. Blast out of there, but actually now down in the bot lane once again, jumping onto Logia. Lack of vision going to make things a little bit nasty, but Lazy is going to be able to find the elimination onto Logia. So once again, eyes were on this bot lane duo here from St. Clair, and this is exactly why. As of right now, they're the only lane I'd say is like somewhat comfortable here in this game. Cooper getting chased away here is Chicken Delivery and Jungler in Pain in hot pursuit. A little shot there from Frez as well. Going to help chunk him down to halfway. Some good damage coming out of Frez, though. Maybe a little bit behind, but at least he still has his spot. Invent is right there, however. And oh my goodness, that was actually rather crafty here from Invent. Baited, and he's going to take him down there, of course. Once you get below a certain health threshold, that kills regardless. So that was so cute coming out of Invent, but can he get out alive in this situation here? He is going to get his dash and get back over there. So wow, some clutch stuff coming here from York University. And unfortunately, a lot of it is onto Frez, but hopefully just keep farming up, keep yourself going. Granted, could be a little bit nasty. Of course, like the chat was saying earlier, this composition from York University, the longer this game goes, will probably outshine composition here from St. Clair. And then Active Force, looks like he's pulling the trigger on the attack, trying to get onto Jungler in Pain and Invent, but they're kind of getting kited here. Kuber 3 here as well. Shots coming out here from Logia. Curtain Call, just peppering them down. 2 low health members on St. Clair in this situation. And Kuber's going to be forced to go away in this spot, go back up top because Chicken Delivery is just pushing forward as well. Invent looking for a shot, but he's going to get himself shut down actually. But walks into a group of 4 Saints, and that did not go very well in his favor at all. Think you're invisible, and then pop, you're dead. Takes him out nice and quickly. Lazi, of course, sitting there with 5 eliminations. But has there been too much damage done? An interesting use of ultimate here coming out from Active Force. He does get onto Jungler in Pain. If he could hang on to him for just a bit longer and let Lazi get one more shot, would be successful. He is going to be able to take care of it. Capstract, though, is going to find the shockwave necessary. Saints are going to walk both of them right on into it. Frez is here, however, as well. If they can keep Lazi alive, this could be winnable. Active Force hanging on for dear life, going to barely keep himself in the game. Yensfo is hanging on, trying to heal people in the background as well. Frez is going to find himself on the right side of the kill feed this time. Gets on the board. And now Saints are able to completely turn that around, 3-0. The early game might have sucked, but at least this midsection is looking much better here for St. Clair, especially with Lazi popping off alongside Yensfo as well. Trying to see if Invent's going to try anything cheeky here, but actually it's going to be Lazi. He's going to find one more axe for his troubles. Add an 8th elimination to that kerfuffle. Is how good can St. Clair keep Lazi alive in this situation? Frez still doing some decent damage as well, but definitely not as much as his Draven counterparts down in the bot lane. And there's just so much damage on this York University side. It is definitely nerve-wracking, to say the least. One thing also to just take note of here is Logia going to be able to get himself away. But the farm counts, just in general in this game, just feel rather low, especially on St. Clair's side. York's is looking okay though, now that I mention, or that I think about it. Like almost 150 here for Chicken Delivery, over 150 right now for Capstract. Meanwhile, other than Lazi, nobody else has over 100 farm. It's very awkward to see. So like mid lane lost in regards to CS, top lane losing as well, but Uber has also been an absolute madman in regards to helping out with the eliminations that have been happening, with the attacks that have been going on. 5 assists currently under his belt, so he's going to get at least a little bit of gold that way. But imagine how much gold he would have if he was also like staying back farming in this situation. As we do see Chicken Delivery with over 160 now in this situation. And continuing to push this top lane as well. Saints are aiming for this dragon. They don't want to give York University number 3 on the game. They're going to opt for it. Kubra is back there to try and stop that turret shot. And it's going to... Oh my god, that is absolutely brutal stuff coming out here. As it's going to be the Dragon Steel from York University. And it wasn't even Jungler and Pain hopping over and Smite. Jungler and Pain's up in the top lane. But the Smite was there for Active Force. Did not get it there in time, as it's going to be the damage. The burst damage coming out of Cabstract is absolutely tearing a hole through that Dragon and getting the finishing blow. Which means now this is absolutely worst case scenario here for St. Clair, because Dragon Soul is around the corner if they can find themselves one more Dragon in this game. Of course, giving a remarkable amount of buffs if that does end up happening. In regards to the game itself, I mean, the lead, it feels like it's been constantly York University, like, moving forward and pushing it forward. But that being said, the lead that they had was about 3,000 earlier in the game, and it's been basically around the same spot. But of course, a lot of that comeback factor is in the hands of one person, that being Lazi, of course. 8-1-1. And Miensfo with 10 assists as well here in this game. They've been setting them up well. And he was able to get all these passive boosts as well, being able to cash in as many of those stacks as possible. Able to put him ahead here as much as he can here in this, at least in regards to the bot lane. But as the 20-minute mark hits, it means no more Rift Heralds available. It is actually going to be Baron Nashor hanging out at the pit next. Possible flank here in Vent, looking to take a dive onto somebody, but he found the tankier members on the side of St. Clair. Miensfo going to barely hang on for dear life. And Vent on hot pursuit. Lazi looking to charge forward. That is a very brave move indeed. Active Force diving forward. He has Kubra with him as well. The Stand United charges through. The taunt is not going to hit anybody. Cabstract is going to flash away from that. And that's another huge shockwave. It includes Lazi. Lots of damage here on the side of St. Clair. Lazi's going to be forced to battle with Jungler in pain, but he's in so much pain himself. That's a pentakill coming out from Invent! Holy smokes, I did not see that coming at all, but at one point, everybody on Saints just got deleted. I feel bad for my wife in this situation because I just popped off so hard that my son just started crying. I am so sorry. But game one is going to be going over to York University after a rather dominant fashion. Unless somehow Saints can hold it right here at the Nexus itself. 2 turrets completely shattered away. Super minions will be pushing through this mid lane turret, or through this mid lane at some point or another. The Seraphine gets taken down, Frez taken out by Chicken Delivery. And just there's just so much damage coming out here across this entire York University squad. Here I am questioning how this composition will work. But hey, if you just win every lane for the most, or win 2 out of 3 lanes, and just put on as much pressure as possible, I guess your team composition is A-okay. York University in game 1. Definitely a tough one, to say the least, there for our Saints squad to start things off, as just was rather an unconventional game, to say the least. As soon as I saw Draven come out here in Champ Select, something just felt off. And I don't know if they were just trying something different or what, but it was definitely having a hard time there. 3,000 gold down with 4, I think, or 12 minutes. Was able to keep that gap for at least a while, but of course, like I was saying, a lot of that gold, a lot of that comeback factor was on whether or not they can actually keep Lazi safe. And there was just way too many threats on that York University squad that it was just damn well impossible for the Saints to keep them away. So they're going to go down. But, of course, best of 3 action here in this Collegiate League of Legends series. So we're going to be right back with game number 2 very shortly. Stick around. Obviously, these Saints want to come back, and we want to see it. We'll be right back.
Not a problem.
Alright, Saints Nation, thanks for sticking around. Game number 2 just about to get underway, currently in the midst of yet another draft phase. This time, St. Clair going to be opting for the blue side. Curious as to what kind of adjustments they need, because of course that one definitely would rattle your psyche for the side of St. Clair, because everybody, for the most part, was having themselves a rough time one way or another. Like, I think Elazi, of course, sure, he got 9 eliminations, but you could only keep him alive so much. Yansua was making plays everywhere. Active Force had himself a mixed bag. Gruber trying to support as much as possible, and then Frez trying to do as much DPS as possible as well, but Capstrax definitely gave him a hard time there in this mid lane. Showing that ranked play isn't everything, considering some of these guys, of course, like I was saying earlier, sitting there currently unranked, but skills are still there, even if they aren't necessarily a part of the ranked solo queue ladder. And the only ban really differing as of this moment is actually going to be a Gangplank ban from St. Clair, going to take that away from Chicken Delivery. Going to possibly let Kubra have himself a bit of a better time. Kaisa is actually still available here if they want to first pick this for Lazi. That's exactly what we're going to end up seeing here in this situation. Of course, Lassie was very strong during scrims with this, and it's just a very solid 80 carry right now in this current metagame. On the contrary, however, the Shen is going to go over to Chicken Delivery, which means Cooper is going to have to go on to something else. What else does he have in his champion pool? We'll have to see. Honestly, Jungler in Pain, if I was him, just pick right, or if he wants it later on, just pick the Graves, but he's actually going to stick with the Jhin, give it back to Logia. I mean, that bot lane didn't do bad by any means, but a lot of plays were definitely focused down there. Was not able to convert themselves into a victory, at least that time. Active Force and Frez looking to pick next time by. Who do they end up picking up next in this situation? Anivia is going to be picked up here for Frez. Okay, can bring out the constant pressure, constant wave clear. Just farm up into the later game. It could still be an absolute threat if necessary. So, much better pick, I think, for Frez here in this situation. Then who's he going to pick up for somebody? I have to see. This is going to be a Men's Foe classic here, as the Pantheon is picked up for Pantheon support down in the bot lane. So not only did the Saints get to pick up the Kaisa, but they're going to try and get aggressive with it, it looks like. Because, I mean, Men's Foe, if this is a Pantheon going down to that bot lane, we've seen him constantly doing roaming during the fall season with this Pantheon. He would do it with Pantheon and Leona, and he would just find himself in other people's lanes and just set up constant kills and let Lazi farm. Lee Sin actually going to be picked up here. First time I've seen a Lee Sin in a good while, actually. Jungler in Pain possibly going to pick that one up, which would be very odd considering the Graves was still available. Unless he's just feeling stylish, which is always possible. I mean, with it being a best of 3, if they wanted to really try and be flashy or try something different, they very well could. Bans are back on the table. They're going to take the Seraphine away. Of course, they could have still gone down to support if they really wanted to flex that Pantheon over to Kubra, but probably not going to be the case. The Orianna going to get taken away from Cabstract, so no classic Orianna versus Anivia here, no Season 2 classic battles. And it's Talia going to be taken off as well. jungler is seeing a little bit more play as of late. And then lastly, going to get rid of the Galio. So all bans are off the table. Everything else is on the board. What does Logia want to pick? And how is St. Clair going to round out this composition? In theory, we still need a top laner, and we still need a jungler on the side of St. Clair. Meanwhile, on the side of York University, we have ourselves a support and a mid laner, and then we're looking bursty. It's going to be the Syndra coming out here from Cabstract. Classic burst mage. Wombo combos, 100 to 0s, definitely love to see it. Not if you're Frez. I mean, at least you have that egg passive as a Nivea, where you instantly get to possibly respawn yourself if enough time goes by without taking too much damage. And this is going to be a Kubra Gnar actually coming out. Opting for Little Beast Yordle. So we still need a jungler in a situation unless it's a Pantheon jungle, which I would be very surprised for. Of course, Graves still making it so far into this draft here. I mean, Jungler in Pain did a fantastic job with them last time by. And it is going to be a Pantheon jungle coming out here from Active Force. Did not expect this. Change of playstyles here from the St. Clair squad, just in Champion Select alone, is curious and concerning, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they can try to pull this one off. I feel like there is a lot of options still on the table, and we're going to see Soraka coming out here for Invent. Something a little bit more passive, at the same time, if you don't mind just sitting back farming and keeping your team healthy. I mean, you're right where you want to be there with Soraka. Of course, just in the quickest of moments here, get to see where these champions end up locking in. It does appear that's exactly what we're going to end up seeing. So first time I'm going to see a Pantheon 4 Active Force. And of course, this is Kubra's second game here in Varsity, and we're going to see him pick up the Gnar this time by after his Shen gets stolen away. Frez back in the mid lane, going to be picking up the Anivia, going to be trying to play rather safe around the Syndra from Cabstract. Lazzy, I mean, he's got the hyper carry potential there with Kaisa, but can he get far enough into the game where that actually does become a factor? We'll have to see. Then Mansvo just going to be everybody's favorite bodyguard there with the Braum. Of course, a bit of a mixed bag once again here. Of course, chat, if you want to help discuss team compositions with me, I'll definitely accept it here in this situation here. Don't ever recall seeing Active Force actually picking up the Rex side, but it definitely does make sense. But we're going to see shot for shot, aggression with aggression possibly here. And Lee Sin, of course, rather high skill ceiling on that character, or on that champion rather. We'll have to see. I mean, Graves, I'm surprised that Graves just got completely lit through this entire game. Normally, I felt like in the way the metagame has been going so far in this season, that's basically a must pick, or a must pick away, but you never really ban it. But it's gonna go to the wayside this time here. I mean, after game number 1, 2, or after game number 1 rather, I am a little bit worried for Frez specifically. Of course, that's brand new or back for the season. And your first game back is a rough one, to say the least. Shake that off, get back into it, and play as safe as possible here. Of course, Anivia versus Syndra. And we know that Jungler in Pain is going to be looking towards that mid lane if it worked as much as it did in the last game. Granted, this time, Invent is not so much on a more damage-focused support. If anything, he's on the complete opposite now, as he's on the Soraka in this situation. And Soraka doesn't do very much damage at all. It's all about the healing from that champion. Yeah, going to be putting the damage trusting into Syndra and Jhin compared to where everybody had some sort of DPS threat last time by. But then, other than trying to think of how much damage Pantheon does. And I think it does a decent amount at least. But again, very similar situation. Keep an eye on this Sinclair bot lane as we do move forward. Because, of course, I feel like a lot of resources are going to be focused there. Try and keep Lassie safe and push him towards the later game. Granted, Kaisa could still do some decent stuff. It's not like a Vayne or something that just takes an absolute eternity. Or like a Jinx that takes an eternity to actually turn on and go. But later we go, the better there, nonetheless. And same thing for Frez's Anivia, to be honest. Like, it's going to be doing a ton of damage. Those icicles, I know, once you frost them up a little bit, the frostbite's going to hurt like hell. But probably almost two-shot a squishy. But just a few more moments before we do hop into game number 2. Of course, Saints looking for the rebound after a very rough game number 1. And before we do hop into it, big thank you to everybody tuning in. Of course, always a pleasure broadcasting these matches here for you all. Whether you're here for the York University side or the St. Clair side, it's always a pleasure. Of course, big thank you to our sponsors as well. St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, St. Clair SRC, Zuckelman School of Business and IT, PC Outlet, and St. Clair Alumni Association. Couldn't do it without you, and we're happy that we're able to put on the show here for everybody. Especially now that this new season's just about around the corner. We're going to have ourselves 7 days of constant action, or 7 nights of action a week with the way things have been going. I'm looking forward to getting things started. Let's see some Griffins. I see WS right there with some Griffins. Can we have some Griffins to match his and get this guy, or get this team, the momentum, the spirit bomb that they need to move forward here for game number 2? I want to see it. And as soon as I was about to switch into the game and start hyping things up, we have ourselves a pause. It is what it is, unfortunately. Somebody running from the bathroom, apparently. Jungler in pain for a whole nother reason, apparently. Chugged his water too quickly. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much longer here. As of right now, it looks like something a little bit interesting coming out of the side of St. Clair. We do resume. We're going to hop right into the action as soon as I stop getting baited by my client. There we go. One thing we see here, Saints all moving as a group of 5, as a full unit going towards that red buff. And could maybe turn us here on the chicken delivery. It could be deja vu, but this time it could be chicken delivery in for a world of hurt. Does Active Force have his stun? He did take his stun right off the bat. Can they get the slow or the stun off from the Braum? Gonna be able to successfully do it. Chicken delivery going down. First blood over to Lassie. And now we could have ourselves a massive battle in the jungle once again. This red side red buff seems to be an absolute bloodbath, at least from game 1 and now going into game 2. But Saints are actually going to opt to retreat in this situation, including Active Force. They're not going to try and steal the red buff. They just took the elimination, took the kill, let Lassie go into game or go into the lane with an extra longsword for some extra damage. And then maybe he can use that to try and snowball that bot lane as well. And just end up leeching over Active Force, get him moving a little bit. Just in time for the red buff, so perfectly timed here from St. Clair. Nicely done nonetheless. Loki is Russian though. We see him a little bit on the mini-map actually. Was essentially right by the Saints turret, just waiting for minions to start blasting that forward. Try and get an early level 2. At least for himself, because of course, Soraka level 2, I feel like that's not as threatening as you might think. We can see it already right now. Lassie is just able to constantly chunk down Logia. Granted, Invent is going to be able to keep topping him off once he does have his heal available. That does burn through a lot of mana to do so. Not going to be able to do that forever. Level 2 is actually going to go over to Mansfo and Lassie. The snowball missing its mark. Invent would have been a sitting duck, but at least they're going to be pushed aside in regards to farm. Cooper 3 up here in the top lane does beat out Chicken Delivery. Of course, didn't get an assist on the kill that did happen up by the red side, but going to at least be able to put a little bit of damage. Of course, once Cooper 3's Gnar gets angry enough, transforms into Big Gnar. Goes full Hulk mode. And Active Force, a little bit low on health, but he's actually invading the jungle on the side of York University. Take away the Krugs. No aggression going to be had, though. Everybody just farming up at this point. The only real aggression is basically just Lazi and Miensfo trying to push away Logia and Invent away. That being said, though, going to be trading shot for shot, or not shot for shot. It's shot for shot if they actually shoot back. But Miensfo going to take a little bit of heat, at least, in that situation. So rather even lane, and now level 3 actually here for Logia and Invent, so they're going to be able to push this thing right back forward. And actually, at the same, or right at the right time, actually, Active Force is in the bot side of this jungle. Jungler in Pain not too far away as well, looking for a Scuttle Crab, and he could very well make his way to either mid or towards the bot lane if he wishes. And actually, okay, Invent can put himself into a little bit of damage, and we have ourselves the second pause here in this game. Looking like it's coming out from the side of York University as well. So once again, apparently under a lag spike situation here for Cabstract specifically. So I'm going to take a quick moment, hope that subsides. But at the end of the day, he's lagging. We have to keep on playing. He does, of course, have a decent chunk of time to wait here on this pause, however. So we'll have to see. So much better start here for Saints, at least across the board anyway. Of course, last year's we get first blood, always a plus. And then right now, and it's still really early obviously, but the race to 20, it's pretty much dead even for Frez and Cabstract. Of course, if Cabstract is lagging, that very well may understand why that might be the case. And then Kubra and Chicken Delivery basically neck and neck with each other at this point. And then the only real difference in the situation would be Jungler in Pain versus Active Force, where Active Force has been out there trying to look for some more plays. The Lisa and Jungler in Pain from York University has been sitting there farming as much as possible. Probably try to get to level 4 as quick as possible, then try to make the move. Of course, he was at the Scuttle Crab right before this pause did get underway. Curious if he will end up going bot. Considering his considering his mid laner might be lagging, you might want to try and avoid that, let that subside. Try not to make or force a play somebody who you know is having a hard time. So we'll have to see momentarily. I'm saying some R's in the chat, so it should be really quickly before we hop right back into the game. An awkward pause-filled start of the season, or start of the semester here for Saints matches, but thankfully they haven't been too long here. Game just about to get back underway. I mean, Invent still for picking up the Soraka, which of course, like I was saying before, is more of the healer type of support. Still finding his mark to do as much DPS as possible, keeping Lazi and Miensfo down to about half. And actually, they do catch the fact that Lokia backed in this situation. Invent is going to get stunned, but is there enough DPS to take him down? Tops himself off. Ignite is ticking, and Miensfo going to buy a thread. Take care of Invent after Logia goes back to buy, and Invent got a little bit too greedy. Moved forward, Miensfo and Lazi jumped on that right away. So it's going to be one kill each for the bot lane of St. Clair. We're in Pain, looking to try and make a play here onto Frez. Ward hops over, is going to slow him down. The Pantheon is here, but it's going to be too little, too late. Frez is going to be taken down, but of course knocked into egg form. They're going to try and burst him down. And actually, Chicken Delivery is here as well. Miensfo from the back actually as well, try and help, but it's going to be too little, too late. Frez is going to be going down. And we also have Invent here, topping everybody off in the back line. Going to keep everybody nice and safe. Cabstract going to find his first kill here of this game. And a rough play, and this is an awkward little teleport. Oh no, this is Frez coming back in to get some farm, so this makes sense. But a rough play, and now the play towards Dragon is on the books here for York University. In theory, Miensfo should be able to see this. That being said, though, Jungler in Pain there, ready and waiting with the smite. Gonna just try and Hail Mary snowball it, because it looks like nobody else on the side of St. Clair is gonna get there. Fires off the snowball a little bit too soon. And it's going to be smited over there, Jungler in Pain, picking up the Windrake. And going to tie this game up on gold. 9,000 apiece, 9,100 apiece now for both these teams. Was definitely quite the skirmish there in that mid lane. Was a little bit rough to see. Perez does end up going down, even through his passive egg form. But granted, it took like 4 players on the side of York University to get that and one other kill, as I believe ActiveForce also went down in that situation. In regards to anybody really being behind, I think ActiveForce is the only one who find himself behind at all in this situation. A little bit low on farm, but now that I actually have to really think about it, or actually see, it's only 32 to 40, so it's not too bad. Especially with the 1 assist in his pocket. Somewhere in Pain around the Dragon Pit. Looking to try and make a move. Capstrax might be making a rotation as well. Teleport coming down. This could be brutal. Lazzie's going to be the one taken down. A good flash away, but he's going to be stand united and taunted on. Lazzie's not going to be able to move at all. Capstrax's going to blow the ulti as well just to make sure they go down. Mienzo is not long for this world. That's a 5-player dive bot to take 2 of the Saints down. Bot lane murked in this situation. Now everybody's got to go home at this point. No dragon to try and contest for this time. And with a play like that, that will, for at least the moment, put St. Clair behind. But at least the Saints are going to be able to farm up a little bit, considering everybody dove bot. So Cooper is going to have some time to catch up. He was behind on CS, I think, for a little bit there. Was able to surpass after that stand united. Again, wet noodle fight up here in the top lane. Cooper, of course, with a little bit of extra range, is actually going to try and ult chicken delivery. Does not go into the wall. Stun still hits, but actually, even through the ultimate, Kubra just doesn't have the damage right now to try and mess with chicken delivery. Granted, that ulti does not come off as... Or it is a bit of a longer cooldown. Never mind, I thought it was going pretty quickly. But not actually the case. Going to be kind of stuck here without that resource for at least a little bit longer. And it could be in a brutal time, especially since the blue side of the jungle, it'll be getting invaded on. Lassie down here with Manso on the bot lane, trying to find something. And Kubra is going to get himself taken down by rule number 1 of League of Legends. Don't face check a bush if you think somebody's there. And that is going to be the takedown. Jungler in Pain going to get the elimination credits for that one. Second kill of the game. And the fact that Invent can just keep on healing things off means that Lassie, they have to burst it if they really want to try and do it. The exhaust is coming in right at the right time. It's going to keep Logia alive for at least a little bit longer. They're going to try and pull out the curtain call here. Mienzo is going to be forced to try and block everything. Otherwise, Lassie will definitely go down. But now, Mienzo has put himself in trouble. This is a very scary fight. They're going to go after the healer. ActiveForce is here as well. Lassie going to find one. ActiveForce going to find the other. But now, we do have Capstract here, looking for the play. The Braum ulti going to miss the mark, unfortunately, there for Mienzo, but it would have kept him alive had Capstract went aggressive. Lassie extremely low on health. Chicken Delivery is here as well. Used to stand united to come on down here, but just took a ton of damage for what it's worth. Lots of low health bars on the side of St. Clair, but nobody goes down as long as they can get back to base safely. And actually, with that play, Saints tie this one back up. Sure, they're down a kill, but were able to farm up and actually take themselves the tiniest of leads. But still, a back and forth game here for game number 2. Jungler in Pain. Is he going to go after Kubra, especially since he's in Mega Gnar form? Toast and some toast calling me. Oh, yeah, you're right. The first rule of League of Legends is don't chase a Singe. You're absolutely right. My rule's number 2 then. So Kubra probably looking for a Trinity Force sometime soon. Jungler and Pain just going to be able to solo off this Rift Herald momentarily here. But one thing I do like from the St. Clair composition, at least as of right now, it feels like there's more damage threats across the board compared to, I guess we're just putting this all on Lassie and Frez and hoping for the best. It does allow for everybody to make their own individual play if necessary. Yes, Mienfo is probably the only one who really doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of damage, but he is, of course, the strictest of supports here in this situation. And Saints find themselves the opening, especially with Jungler and Pain up in the top side, to take this dragon, get themselves this Ocean Drake, and no questions asked and no contest. Saints are going to take this one dragon apiece. Jungler and Pain still hanging around. I think that would have been the Gromp area, right around Kubra. Drops a ward and it's going to opt to move away. Active Force looking to possibly set up the dive here. Of course, if you want to deal with Soraka, you got to burst them. There is reinforcements on the way, though. Cabstrax right around the corner. Can they take down Lazi? That's a lot of damage coming down, a lot of splash damage across the Saints here. Lazi going to use his ulti and try and get out of dodge. Frez is here as well. They're on the bird trying to make something happen, but here comes Jungler and Pain. The passive is going to be knocked, but he is in the middle of a ton of the York University team. That's not going to be very long for this world. Shutdown gold actually going over to Mienfo as the Ignite actually took the kill onto Jungler and Pain, but there's still a 2-on-2, and the Saints don't have that much health left to really make something happen. And sure enough, that is going to be a double kill. In fact, the shutdown going over to Cabstract. 6 kills and 0 deaths, 2 assists. You will be 100-0'd by Cabstract's Syndra pretty much without question. Even the tanks I don't think are really safe here in this situation. Maybe, yeah, Braum with his shield is probably the only thing that can for sure survive Cabstract in this moment. And Cabstract, I mean, he's been doing right. Just constantly, like, the second or third person into the fight, never really being the one getting focused, but has been able to sit there and just dump a ton of splash damage onto everybody, a bunch of AoE. Of course, that being one of Syndra's strengths, of course, those basic abilities, being able to hit multiple things at once and then just constantly just single somebody out there with the ultimate, doing exactly what he needs to do. Has Luden's Echo here as well. Is Echo still, right? Tempest. Okay, see, I would have got baited. Picks up the big item there. Going to be doing a ton of damage. Okay, 3 players down bot here for the side of York, and Mienfo going to be put into a world of hurt once again. The flash kick onto Lassie puts him in a really bad spot, especially with that Ignite onto him. He's not going to be able to do that much damage at all. And you know what? Just come on down anyway, Cabstract. How about you be player 4 to the fight this time by and find your 7th kill in the game? With Rift Herald going down bot as well, those towers are not long for this world. Chicken delivery ahead in regards to his levels, and actually Active Force coming in hot here, going to try and help out Kubra, push him forward, and it's going to give Active Force the elimination and give Kubra the assist on that situation. Hopefully he can finally get himself, oh my god, it's not even an ultimate, that's just a 1-2 punch. And there goes half of Frez's health. So a turret and a half here down bot, and then of course Cabstract's been able to constantly pressure this mid turret as well. That will not be long here as well. Kubra and Active Force going to try and take this one down. They should be able to at least trade 1 turret. In fact, they're going to be able to do so. Keep this game within 2,000 gold, but the lead has definitely been growing here on the side of York University. Then at least this time for St. Clair, if they do need to stall things out and just farm it up, I think their composition is a little bit better suited compared to the Draven Seraphine combo that they were kind of going with last time. Of course, Saints still not out of this just yet. Around a very similar spot to where they were in the last game. But this time, a lot more eggs are in the basket of Cabstract. Now, they're going to try and make something happen. Can they make it work? Miansfo's unfortunately not going to hit anything. Are they going to be able to trade this 1-for-1? Lassie is extremely low. He's just going to go down. Cabstract lives. Never mind. But the shutdown gold goes over to Miansfo's Braum, which, if you're going to have shutdown gold go over to anybody, that's unfortunately the last kind of person you want to go to. Sure, Miansfo is going to be an absolute tank, but you need somebody to take someone or take the players down. Perez is going to be not long for this world. Does he have his dancing shoes on? Going to be able to keep going for at least a moment, but he's pretty low on health. Going to try and burst down the Soraka, and is going to be put down into the egg form. It's 4 players, 1 egg. That video doesn't go very well, and it's going to be taken down here. Perez with his 3rd death on the game. Definitely a rough series for him. Game 1. Cabstract had his number there as well. And as of right now, it started much better, at least farm-wise. He's right on pace. But the amount of pressure that Cabstract, the amount of involvement that he's been on every single one of these kills. Like, there's been 15 kills for his team. He's been a part of 11 of them. At least he can farm himself up. That bot tower very well may end up going down, but if the Saints can manage to get themselves a Herald to possibly find themselves a tower back, maybe scrape some gold together, they're going to be able to get that done, so solid nonetheless. They're hanging in there, to be completely honest. Like, objective-wise, they're not doing bad, just a lot of these team fights just are not going in their favor. Getting a little extra background information from the chat here as well. So, of course, Cabstract was one of the players that did say unranked. So here I am thinking it's a player that may be like around Platinum, maybe around Diamond, but apparently Cabstract is a Grandmasters player if I were to listen to Twitch chat, which I know technically streaming 101, you're technically not supposed to, but I'll trust you this time, bye. Because Cabstract is definitely playing like it here, all over the place, getting involved, and is winning these lanes. And if that is the case, then Frez definitely had an uphill battle to climb right from the beginning here of this series. Oh, the Sin United actually used here. Chicken Delivery and Summer Pain trying to make the play. There's a kick, and that's going to be Lassie going right into the middle of the team. Lassie's going to try and get out of dodge before trying to turn anything. He is so low on HP. Gnar going to get the kill onto Logia. So Cooper's going to find himself his first kill of the game. Going in Mega Gnar style, going to try and catch Jungler in Pain. Does keep him in check. The double stun actually onto Invent as well. They're going to chase them all down. Jungler in Pain goes down to Frez. Frez on the kill board. Going to clean that up. But actually Cabstract has finally arrived. And you'll see all the Saints probably tuck their tail and run here in this situation, considering if they all go in the same way, that is a lot of burst damage. I could easily turn a 1v3 even. But still, Saints managed the 3 for nothing, and I think a tower as well in that skirmish. And if anything, that's a nice boost of momentum going into the 20-minute mark of this game. I want to give Invent some credit too, and he's definitely showing his mix of play styles and his champion pool, and he's not set to one style. How does one go from a Pyke getting a pentakill to saying, you know what, I'll play Soraka? Two polar opposites, of course, in regards to character style and play style, but even still able to pick it up and has been involved in almost every elimination on his team, as he has himself 12 assists. Just the running ambulance, basically, in this case, keeping his team topped off the best as possible. Doesn't need to be high levels, just trying to keep everybody safe. That being said, Kubra in a bit of an awkward spot. Nice little stun, though! Gets the Ultimate's off. Now Active Force is here as well as Frez. They might be able to turn this. A huge play for Kubra to turn this one around. Active Force and Frez coming in right at the right time as well. Lazzy wants in on the action. We have the whole crew here. Take them down, and Dragon's actually right around the corner. 2-0. Huge turnaround here for St. Clair. Getting themselves actually the lead here in game number 2 after what was looking like a rather skeptical one, to say the least. Going to actually push towards. Is this going to be a Baron Pit attempt? They're going to try and clear up as much vision as possible, but they're walking through so much vision, they have to know that something is going down here. And they're going to pop the Herald, interestingly enough. The curtain call coming out here from Logia. They have been spotted. Where is Cabstract? He's all the way down bot. He does have TP, but are they actually going to use it? Not going to be the case, and wow. Okay, so Lazzy's going to be able to secure Baron Nashor. So that could have been close. Active Force, I don't think, had his smite available for that, so it was a very scary, very risky maneuver coming out there for the St. Clair Saints, but they do manage to pull ahead there with the Baron buff intact. Dragon, however, unless Saints could get there in time, should go into the hands of York University. That would be Dragon number 3 in their pocket. Not sure if the Saints know that's going to be the case. I'm not sure if they really care, to be honest. They're going to know now, as the Dragon does end up going down. And up at the top lane as well. Shelly and Cooper 3 going to take down one turret. Can there be one more shot? Not in time. Going to be taken down by Cabstract. So a couple missed opportunities there for York University, and St. Clair turn it around. Of course, get themselves the lead. Is it time to group up for a team fight? What do you do in this situation? Of course, objectives off the board, with the exception of turrets. Of course, bot turrets still up, as they've just pinged out actually from St. Clair, as the bot lane tier 1 still in the game. There's Cabstract to find 200 CS. First here in this game, short to follow by Lazzy. You do see Frez actually pushing this up here alongside Active Force. Going to use these Baroned up minions to take down these turrets, because the fact these turrets are still standing and they already have themselves a lead means these turrets going down are just going to give them that much more of a lead. This is all just bonus gold to go towards their lead, and it's perfect in this situation, as they're now going to be looking for tier 2 turret on the bot side, with only Chicken Delivery there to defend as of this moment. And of course, he's not going to be able to do it alone. Going to be forced to bring back Invent, and I think Logia is right there with them, but that turret is already about halfway down. We're running out of minions in this situation, but they do still have the cannon. It is eventually going to go down. That turret is like one shot away, so if you're fighting around that turret, you have to know to not rely on it too much, because it's probably going to go down from one pop from Lazzy here, maybe a second one because I'm a liar, and there it goes. Kubra 3 actually with the split push up on the top lane as well. Chicken Delivery, I don't think could handle him. Kubra has found himself in a 2-level lead on to Chicken Delivery, as I think Chicken Delivery has just been roaming around trying to make more plays than Kubra. And by doing so, with some of them paying off and not others, like that one down in the bot lane, they tried to make something happen, and Kubra actually turned it around on both of them. Puts him behind a little bit. There's definitely a good heads-up play there. I know it was a little while ago there, but still was a fantastic highlight there for Kubra down in that bot lane, where he was dealing with Chicken Delivery and Jungler in pain. As soon as they both jump at him, Mega Gnar right into the wall, get his follow-up stun, and then enough time has passed where his team could follow up. It was a perfect play on his part. Nice to see him. Even though maybe the varsity team rookie, still cool-headed enough to make those plays even when you're outnumbered. All grouped up with the exception of Cooper 3, who's going to be pushing down that bot side, try to push it to the inhibitor towers, if anything. And of course, with Frez and the rest of the squad there, they can clean up this their minion waves nice and quick and just keep on pushing forward. Chicken Delivery going to be trying to split push the top side, try and catch back up, and hopefully be able to just... oh my god, hang on a second though. Frez nearly get himself popped. That's going to be the Zanyas, I believe, coming out. And he's going to flash out just in time. Those Zanyas get out of stopwatch. Get with the modern times here, Danners, as we do have ourselves a battle. Lassie trying to take down Jungler in Pain. And everybody else. And we do have a huge Gnar actually coming out here from Kubra. That took 3 members on the side of York University, and everybody on York seems to be falling here. Chicken Delivery walled off. That was a nice wall there from Frez. But the shutdown, actually, the Soraka, that's going to be Invent, finding the elimination on to Lassie and Mansfo. Both the casualties on the side of St. Clair. Logia still alive here and can be topped off by Invent if necessary. Chicken Delivery lead in charge as well. So with the tank line, nonetheless, Kubra and Active Force being the ones alive, and then Frez, they're going to back this one up and try to defend this mid tower, as we do see, I believe, that Chicken Delivery pushing down the center. Just trying to make sure that they don't lose another tower half-heartedly. So make that another highlight moment there for the rookie, Kubra, finding the 3-player Gnar into the wall, which of course he hit that into the wall. That is a stun. Able to turn that around. It may have stopped Cabstract from finding as much damage as they normally would have wanted. Kubra, of course, still has his teleport, but he is here with the team. Dragon might be right around the corner at this time. Is in fact right around the corner. Do see the mark on the mini-map, so that's going to be the next objective for contest here in the bot side of the river. And yes, Frez can stall things out. That's a lot of damage, though. Active Force getting put extremely low. Going to be forced to Lassie to try and get that last hit onto that dragon. Going to pick it up rather, and it's going to be dragon number 2 for St. Clair, hanging on to this lead. But all of these plays that they are making feel like they could very well tip, like it's on the knife's edge of sorts. For yes, they're getting it, but one wrong move and that entire play can just fall over on its face. Baron actually next on the docket here. Curtain call to scout, and Mansfo is going to tank this here with his shield up ready to go. Jungler in Pain right here ready. Active Force does have his smite. Both junglers have the smite. 50-50 opportunity here. Who is going to be able to take care of this as it's right down? Nice little stun there from Mansfo, and it's going to allow Active Force to get this Baron pretty well uncontested. Jungler in Pain going to get absolutely popped by Lassie. And it's going to be actually Cabstract. He's completely ganked and completely held back here from Kubra and Frez. Pinned away, could not do anything. Now they're going to chase this down onto Invent. It's going to be the 3-4-0. The 3-4-0 plus a Baron, and we're probably going to find some additional turrets here. Huge play here for St. Clair. Fighting hard and doing their damnedest to try and bring this to a game number 3. Yeah, absolutely fantastic, especially considering how rough game number 1 went. A lesser team would have been absolutely devastated and crumbled. But here is the St. Clair squad still fighting away. Inhibitor down. And then, okay, Active Force did go back to deal with Chicken Delivery, so no free inhibitor on the bot side. Go back, get yourself some additional items. Come fighting back here with this Baron buff. Maybe push either the top or the bot side. Okay, Kubra does get out of there just in the nick of time, as it's going to be Chicken Delivery and Jungler in Pain looking to put some pressure onto him. The Nutty Gnar indeed. I could not have said it better myself. Kubra again, of course, making things work here. A nice little wall too in that Baron play. The fact that Cabstract could not move at all. The Gnar right into the wall, and you drop the ice wall from Frez's Anivia. Cabstract is basically a non-factor. The only thing that Cabstract could do in that situation was just attack Kubra. And I mean, if there's going to be one player that you would want to attack, it'd probably be either Kubra or Mansfo, given their tankiness. So nicely done from the Saint squad, playing to their characters' strengths and rocking the abilities to make it work. That being said, though, Lassie and Mansfo may have found the the Chicken Delivery and the teleport. Actually, no, it's not the teleport out of there. He's actually just going to use his Stand United, use his ultimate to get out of dodge in that situation. And just not enough auto attacks to force the Braum stun out of him. But yeah, now that split push idea is off the table unless Chicken Delivery wants to opt for a teleport play instead. He is going to go down to the bot side to meet up with Kubra. Kubra does have his teleport available as well. Now, double cannon minion down here on the bot side, slowly chipping away at the turret. Kubra going to defend them as best as possible. Chicken Delivery cannot really do anything in this situation. So slowly but surely that tower is going to get whittled down, and then the pressure is going to keep continuing here. They have the Anivia. Frez is going to be able to just constantly keep clearing out these waves nice and quick and try to make a play there with the Ice Wall and the stun as well. Collegiate taking a little bit of heat. His tower up on the top side is going to be down to about half HP. Red turret does end up going down. That's a huge blast here from Cabstrack. That Scatter of the Week really making things hurt here for the St. Clair squad. But that top tower goes down, and now actually Kubra is thinking about maybe making a move towards that inhibitor. Can Saints find themselves a second? Super minions are in the center lane. They have to make a move if they want to stop this top turret from going, or this top inhibitor from going down. Manso stays alive. He tanks the ult. That's going to be another huge Gnar coming out here. They take down the healer. Invent taken off the board. They take down Cabstrax. Lassie going to be credited with a kill. It's a big damage coming up here from Frez as well, but the kill's going to be credited over to Lassie. And we're going to see Chicken Delivery go down as well. That is an ace. And St. Clair, after a very tough and honestly terrible game number 1, come back strong. Looking fantastic here versus York University. Keeping their heads held high, taking game number 2. We're going to have ourselves a game 3 battle. You'll love to see it. Holy moly, definitely would not have expected a game like that after game number 1. I can't stress it enough. I know I say it over and over again, but that was brutal. And then all of a sudden, they come back strong. Lassie find himself with 11 eliminations here in this game. Frez was an absolute unit as well. Kubra, how many of those damn Gnars was getting multiple players or the key players if necessary in that situation? Whether it was just the Syndra or just the healer who was finding those shots. Active Force was saving everything's up, or saving everybody. Yansfo was keeping everybody alive, being the best bodyguard NA, and he takes care of that. Now, we go into a game 3. Looks like we're going to be switching sides once again. St. Clair going to be stuck on the red side of things. And we're going to take ourselves a very quick break in a moment. I got to catch my breath, get some water real fast as we're going into game number 3. Please do stay tuned. If you like what you're seeing, be sure to follow us here on the Saints Gaming CA channel. Of course, your home for the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team. There's still so much action still left to go here in this season. We're just getting started. We have more varsity League of Legends action up against Worcester Polytechnic Institute this Saturday, the start of CLOL. Looking forward to seeing that one. Same squad up in action there. Variant 23rd is actually a doubleheader. Rainbow Six Siege action here. R6 Collegiate Championships right around the corner. CSGO Face It continues on Sunday, and then we have ourselves a doubleheader weekend with Call of Duty Cold War, as that is going to be the CCL opening tournament. Looking forward to that one. Stick around. Game number 3 just about to get underway. We're going into Champ Select. Let's hit it. All right, let's hop right back into this. Draft time for game number 3. In regards to bans, York University keeping everything the exact same. They like what they had up against them, at least. And of course, with Saints being on the red side, it means that first pick does go over to York University. And so they do not give up the Kaisa. They're going to just give it over, or not give it over, they're going to just use a ban to take it off the board, forcing Logia to play something else. And he's actually going to opt away from the Jhin this time, picking up Misfortune. Normally you see Misfortune, you usually think of a combo tool of some sort, which means there's probably going to be a team built around setting something up. I would normally think in this situation something like an Orianna, for example, or a Galio, especially since it's not banned quite yet. Meanwhile, the side of St. Clair, and we're seeing ourselves possibly a bot lane picked up right away. The Tristana Leona aggressive bot lane could absolutely crush a Misfortune if they just absolutely dive on them. But speaking of diving, Jungler and Pain hovering over the Hecarim once, or for the first time here in this series, thinking about it. Now Cabstract, even though he had a fantastic laning phase up against Frez for the second time in a row, it was a similar situation to how Lassie was in game number 1. Had so many eliminations, but when the time came to it, just got blown up right away, and sure enough, the Hecarim all delivery service here with Abstract's Orianna was fantastic in game number 1, was not banned, and they're going to be able to pick that up right away. Base Frez knows what he's going up against, and yes, Cabstract is definitely a very, very tough opponent, but at least he'll know what kind of matchup he wants to put himself into. While we're in the midst of the banning phase, big thank you to Atmosphere TV for the free subscription with the Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Ban number 4 on the way here. Saints gonna probably get rid of Thresh? What? I was gonna say Galio. But boy, was I wrong. So the Thresh gonna be taken off. Not going to let Invent have that champion. Canavia gonna be taken off the board. Frez did end up having a fantastic mid to late game with that champion, so Cabstract's going to opt against it for this time. And then Rakan is the last ban. What is switching up here? It's weird to see. They switch sides and all of a sudden, like, all their past strategies seem to go out the window. And then Silas going to be picked off for the last ban. So a lot of champions previously taken off the board are accessible for this time by. I mean, now that I really think about it, I guess the Rakan kind of makes sense if you want to have an additional supporter that can set up bullet time from Misfortune. And actually, we're going to see Frez pick up the Victor, which I've seen mixed successes with in the scrims. He was able to dominate some games, but other games kind of stuck just farming away, hoping for the best. Hopefully, this is one of those dominating or at least staying alive kind of games. And we're going to see Chicken Delivery, I believe, in this situation, picking up the Aatrox. First time this series for a lot of these players. We get used to them playing one thing, and they completely switch it up on here, or on us here, and we're looking for a support in this case. Invent, what are you going to pick? Going to opt for the Morgana, be able to lock down one or more players, set up the bullet time. Set up possibly the shockwave as well if enough people get close enough together. A Wombo combo team coming out here for York University. Meanwhile, St. Clair, I see aggression, but I'm not sure if I really see comboing. But we'll have to see. It's going to be Kubra picking up the Irelia for game number 3. Third game of varsity, third different champion that we're going to see Kubra here on. Active Force, the classic Jarvan. We saw this a lot back when he did play with us about 2-3 semesters ago. And Frez and the Victor we were explaining earlier. Consistent but also bursty damage. As long as he can keep himself alive. Tristana for Lazi is the first time I've seen it in, I think, all of the time that we've had Lazi here on this varsity team. I've seen more Callista than I've seen Tristana from Lazi. That being said, though, this Leona pick coming out here from Miensfo does not necessarily surprise me. We've seen him do some aggressive roaming here with this champion, and if that's the kind of boost that Frez needs to go up against Cabstract on an even or a winning level, then by all means, I think you have to do it. So game 3, looking like it's going to be another exciting one. Both teams kind of have an idea of what they want to do in this situation. I guess Saints, not as obvious to say the least, but with York University's team, you know what they want here. They want a combo setup. They want Hecarim to dive on in with the Shockwave ready on him, with a Misfortune ready to do bullet time, with Invent on the Morgana, and Chicken Delivery on the Aatrox, also assisting and gathering everybody up. Getting some pogs here for Curtis, for Kubra on the Irelia. And this has been a champion that we don't really see out of the Saints in the past. I've not seen really much Irelia, and which is odd considering how good she is. She's definitely a solid champion, has basically always been a solid champion since as long as I can remember. Of course, it's cool to see so much mixed bag play coming out here, that it's not just everybody sticking to one team comp and just changing like execution errors. They're just doing straight up, okay, plan A didn't work, we're going to plan B, which is completely different. And especially here for York, of course, we're seeing Jungler in Pain. He's had a Lee Sin game, he's had a Graves game, now he's on a Hecarim. And Cabstract, if anything, he's the one most consistent. He's the Grandmaster player, of course. Knows what he likes, knows what he needs, and knows how to set up these combos. So expect him to be the shot caller going forward here into this game, working with Jungler in Pain and Invent to set up Logia. Of course, Logia had Jhin twice, now switching over to Misfortune. Invent, once again, showing his champion pool and stylistic differences. Or, of course, he went from the assassin support of Pyke to the purest of supports in the healer of Soraka. Now, a bit of a playmaker kind of support with a little bit of damage, but not too much. More of the playmaker kind of support there with Morgana. And the Chicken Delivery also with his third different character between the Shen, Gangplank, and now the Aatrox. So we're definitely seeing a nice mix of champions here from the York side of things. Or on both sides of the team, to be honest. Definitely been an exciting matchup. Of course, if you like what you see, be sure to follow us here on the Saints Gaming CA channel. Of course, this is your home for the St. Clair Saints esports team. And there's going to be so much more action. The season is just getting started. Of course, League of Legends has CLOL starting up Saturday at 3 o'clock as well. So this isn't even the only game of League of Legends this week. It's going to be a fantastic weekend as well. Of course, the doubleheader of League of Legends into some Rainbow Six Siege. So it's going to be a nice busy day for myself. I look forward to bringing you the action for that day. And of course, before we do hop into the game as it is loading up right here, of course, thank you to the sponsors that do make the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team possible. St. Clair College, Zuckerman School of Business and IT, Tim Hortons, St. Clair SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association, PC Outlet, and Tim Hortons. Thank you all so much for making this possible. And of course, big thank you to everybody in the chat. I think there's about 28 of you so far in the chat watching this game number 3, getting ready to get underway. Always a pleasure commentating and casting all of these matches here for you all. Whether you're here supporting your friends, family members, or classmates, or even just the program itself. Always a big thank you for supporting their esports endeavors. But without further ado, enough jibber jabber on the camera screen. How about we get ready to get into to
Welcome to
the game.
Summoner's Rift.
We're in here calling it out right here, right now, and as of right now, we will not see anything as crazy. Never mind, I am an absolute liar. I should probably show you what I'm talking about. We do have 4 players in the bottom bush here for the side of York University. The only one not really there is Capstract, maybe faking the line of scrimmage kind of style. But with the Saints not roaming down, not looking to get aggressive on that bot side, this death bush of sorts may end up not finding anything, but that's a-okay. And for the first time in this entire series, we very well might have ourselves a level 1 period that is actually peaceful with nothing absolutely crazy happening. We're just going to start off on our red buffs and call it a day, it looks like. They're taking it easy on me for game number 3. Red buffs both taken, and all we'll get to see is Active Force going to try and make the early level 2 play, or is it going to just hop to farm it up? It looks like off to the Krug, so more of a farming play nonetheless. Mansfo diving forward. Logia going to be the ones taking a little bit of heat in this situation. Some decent damage, but the root coming down onto Mansfo might turn this around. Lassie kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, has to try to get out of dodge. Is going to be taking about half of his health in punishment in this situation. Mansfo's early aggression not really paying off for them. It looked good when they jumped onto Logia. They did burn. It would have been the heal out of Invent, but now the level 2 happens. Lassie's diving in, going to get exhausted right away, and is nearly going to go down. 2 battles happening at separate times here. Lassie going to be able to pop the heal and keep himself safe. But at level 1, solid defense coming out from Logia and Invent. Just not getting too scared. Lock him down. Focus Lassie. The exhaust popped from Logia as well. Make sure that the damage coming out from Lassie was at a minimal. Was definitely clutch in that situation. And now Kubra, with this matchup here up against the Aatrox, might actually have himself a winning lane if this pattern keeps on going here. Was able to hit level 3 first in that situation. Lassie and Mansfo both forced back, so they're going to be behind in regards to experience, but I think that is exactly why we see Active Force hanging around that bot side. Sure, he's probably getting that Skull Crab first, but we might look to see him have a play happen here, try and help boost this bot lane after their aggression did not go according to plan. Sure enough, in the tri-bush, Saints looking to maybe make a play. Of course, mid and top both have teleports available. Jungler and Pain actually all the way up in the top lane, which in theory should be the go button here for St. Clair to look to try and make something happen. And it's going to be focused in onto Logia. Teleport coming out here. I believe this is going to be Chicken Delivery. First Blood is going over to Lassie. Chicken Delivery has shown up though, and Vent is going to try and take down Lassie. That being said, Capstract is coming through the jungle. Try and meet up with Lassie. Should be meeting them any moment here. I say, Invent, please kill me. Don't give it to the Orianna. But it's too late. Not going to be the case. Passes that kill over to Capstract. Frez is like, man, really? It wasn't even me this time. I'm so sorry. But it's going to be the kill going over to the Orianna. But granted, Frez is dead even with Capstract. Doing a much better job in this matchup up against Capstract at least. And for once here, the bot lane of St. Clair seems to be the one maybe struggling a little bit. Sure, 2 more long swords in the pocket of Lassie, but has not been farming in the slightest. They've been basically trying to just kill this lane over and over again. We do see Frez looking to try and make a play here as well. Gets caught up in the stun and will just pass on over. Active Force going to pick this one up. Now Lassie going to try and maybe push this with the rest of the squad as the Dragon is now available as well. Cooper 3 up in the top lane. Looking to try and make a play. Some good moves though from Chicken Delivery. Maybe catching Kubra a little bit out of position. That being said, though, do they try to make this happen? It's going to be successfully doing so. Tries to make the dodge, but it's going to end up going over to Jungler in pain. While they're all up top, however, it does leave the door open here for St. Clair to take this Ocean Drake. Nobody is going to be able to contest this, so they're just going to teleport all the way back up top. It's going to be picked up there by Lassie, finally hitting level 3 of all things. It's crazy how long it's taken him this time by. And he's actually caught up on CS, actually, so give Lassie some time. He'll get himself back up to snuff in regards to his CS. Although I do like the fact that St. Clair, they were going aggressive, but at least they finally waited for the 3 to 4 player dive instead of just trying to bang their head up against the wall. That was Invent and Logia in a 2v2. Because it was definitely... like, they definitely had themselves an opportunity, but that being said, Invent and Logia did handle that extremely well. Of course, definitely an exciting series. We're going the full distance here today, of course, in game number 3. After York University had a very decisive game 1, game 2 was a little bit closer, but Saints managed to pull it off. We do see Invent getting jumped on by Active Force. A good shield, however, going to stop the knock-up portion of that attack from happening. Takes a little bit of damage, sure, but is able to completely walk that off. Crisis averted, but Invent is still maybe getting himself a little bit overzealous. Gets himself stunned up on Yansfo. Jungler is here. They're going to try and dive on to Lassie. Lassie going to try and jump away. Gets out of dodge. Shockwave takes care of Active Force. And now Saints are forced to run through the jungle using the Blasco and try and get out of dodge. But Cabstract is there. And of all people to feed some kills over to, that is not the player you want to see that go to. Perfect timing there for Cabstract, and actually Chicken Delivery turning this over, popping the ulti and going right on in. Solo kill on to Kubra. Definitely frightening here for St. Clair once again. Now, okay, good flash from Frez. That was right on target there from Invent, still sitting at level 4. But has been making his presence known, and actually probably done so on purpose, as Logia already level 6 bullet time is available. Of course, one of the core combo pieces of their composition already ready to fire. Rift Herald is on the menu here for the side of York University, probably not going to be contested. Jungler in pain just going to take it himself, it looks like, confident enough to take care of that. Saints have no vision on it, so it's probably going to go into their pocket, no problem. Active Force is nearby, however. Kubra, does he ward it and spot it? Don't think he does. That Rift Herald's just about to go down. He's going to opt to go back to his lane, so it's too little too late there for Kubra. Tell you what, Lassie so far in this game has been doing or has been having a rough time, rather. Constantly stuck going back over and over again. It's just letting the CS lead between Logia and him just go so much further ahead. About 10 CS currently in the favor of Logia in this situation. And of course, the fact that Invent has been roaming more means too that that ultimate was available. Lassie just straight up cannot get aggressive, doesn't want to push, yet Tristana naturally pushes, and that's going to be the Cataclysm coming down onto Invent. A good chunk of damage, but it's going to flash out of dodge before anything too crazy happens. Dragon right around the corner here. Saints looking to try and set up, but at the same time, Jungler in pain is nearby as well. Rez gets a little bit over-aggressive, and he's going to find himself paying for that one. The pathing was just not in his favor in the slightest. Kuba 3 and Miezvo going to try and at least turn this into 1, but who do they focus down here? They should probably focus down Cabstract. Lassie is not going to be able to 1v1 him. They are going to be able to do so. That shutdown goes all the way on to Kubra. Okay, so a key bounty, a key target taken off here. Fred's probably not so disappointed going down in that situation, since it does just get transferred over to one of his teammates. At least the 1v or the 1-for-1 happens in that situation. Dragon should be right around the corner. Of course, St. Clair did get the first Ocean Drake. This would be Drake number 2. They can manage to successfully take this one. Yes, Cooper got himself the kill, but he still has to deal with Chicken Delivery, who seems to be having his number. I was thinking that Aurelia was going to have a bit of a better time up against Chicken Delivery's Aatrox, but it looks like I may have been mistaken, even with the level advantage. Chicken Delivery just doing a ton of damage. And not smited down again. Active Force definitely playing with our hearts here in this situation. Lassie stuck between a rock and a hard place. Mansfield in a world of hurt as well. The Lance moves out of the dodge, and no, that's exactly what you don't want to see. That's Lelgia right in position. And was that deja vu? I feel like I just saw that 2 minutes ago as Frez goes down, as Cabstract catches him with some awkward pathing once again. 3 kills handed over to York University. Yes, sure, Saints got the dragon, but if you got the 3 kills, I think I say worth an all chat every time. Active Force playing with fire here. Going to hang on just by a thread, but now with Shelly coming down the play, gonna basically demolish this turret by himself. But the assistance of the team's always good. Takes down that tier 1 turret. And yeah, Lassie just has not been able to farm at all in this game. It just feels like it's been skirmish after skirmish, and he's not necessarily have been that strong either. Mansfo is trying his best to peel for him the best it can, but the fights are just lasting too long for him. Sure, you blow your cooldowns, then what? Of course, like I was saying before, like Lassie wants to probably freeze and farm up as best as possible. Of course, Tristana late game is fantastic. They have to get there. You're in that awkward spot now where, sure, you had a bunch of damage in the early game based off of your kit alone, but now once you reach the mid game, you kind of fall off a little bit. You don't do as much damage compared to some of these other champions. And just naturally, because of the passive explosions when killing a minion, you're going to constantly just keep pushing that lane. We'll have to see. Took the CS lead now between him and Logia. Yeah, Chicken Delivery definitely keeping Cooper 3 on his toes. Definitely a lot of pressure here for the rookie up in the top side. Game clutch in game number 2 plenty of times. Game 1 felt a little bit of a non-factor, but of course you're playing Shen, you're being as supportive as you possibly can. But allowing him onto the Aurelia to make some more aggressive plays, possibly. You see Jungler in Pain down here in the tri-bush as well, possibly looking to maybe make a play onto Kubra. Not going to be the case. We're actually just going to go for the Rift Herald instead, as that will be spawning shortly. No more turret plates in play either in the situation, so no more gold in that regard. And then in the meantime, Cabstract, 5 kills again. It's looking just deja vu from other games where just Cabstract seems to pop off. We're in Pain, threatening the fact that he can possibly dive in at any moment, but not going to opt to do so. Yeah, Cabstract was just down bot, just farming up as best as he can, leading the game with 129 in this situation, followed closely by his teammate at 124. And it kind of shows in the gold lead, but hang on a second, Active Force going on to Invent. And actually gets kind of trapped out a little bit. Okay, nice little solar flare there from Jensfo to stop the bullet time early. But then just ends up being a bit of a stalemate now that that has occurred. 15 minutes into the game. Cabstract is just going to blow up Active Force for free. After a greedy back position, really going to make Saints pay for it. And it's a lot of these little plays that are starting to add up here for St. Clair, or against St. Clair, rather, as York University just about to hit the 30k mark in regards to gold collected. Meanwhile, 23 on the side of Saints. And Chicken Delivery, of course, a Taiki Boy, does not care about that turret. And Frez does not have the damage to do this. He was doing fine in that mid lane. Yet Cabstract was able to find himself some eliminations early. And then 2 mispositionings after the fact, and Frez got punished each time. So a rough time for him indeed once again. And CS-wise, at least in game number 2, when he was on the Anivia, he may have been behind in regards to eliminations, but at least he was keeping rather even in regards to creep score or creep kills, the CS. So he had at least close to the same amount of gold in his pocket. This game, however, that is not the case in the slightest. 142 to 51 in the mid lane. Lassie's definitely hurting this situation too, hitting 124 compared to the 140. Less kills and less assists as well, so less money in his pocket. And right now, yeah, Saints probably don't want to take that fight. They are rather grouped, and they're thinking about it, but just going to stall it up long enough to the point where the York squad is going to pick up that dragon for no contest. And Chicken Delivery may be able to finally take this turret down. They've been trying for a little while, but finally going to secure kill on that, get some additional gold in the pocket, and this is actually looking rough. Nearly 10k gold lead right now for York University, and the double flash into absolutely nothing wombo combo coming out here for St. Clair as Mansfo and Actiforce were both looking for something, but I believe the flash away from Logia going to completely shut that down. High risk, high reward, but the risk did not pay off this time, to say the least. Of course, Cabstract could probably take on Frez and Mianso if they decide to do a double team attack onto him, but Saints know better in this situation, going to go back under their turrets, farm up as best they can. I feel like that's what they kind of have to do here. Just try and stall out the best they possibly can. See if they can get Lassie's Tristana to late game, get Frez's Victor to late game, and of course Cooper 3's Aurelia as well. As all of those characters, all those champions can definitely be threats in themselves. And then just have Active Force and Mansfo make the setups, make the plays, and once again, there's overconfidence in their backing. That being said, though, a little overconfidence actually from Cabstract as well. Frez is going to survive. Not as bad. I guess if there's one small victory, if you're going to have that many kills, have it on an Orianna instead of a Syndra so you don't instantly get popped if a situation like that happens. Because had that been a Syndra, that would definitely have been a one-shot kill. Okay, Lassie's going to be able to sneak that red buff away, but now this put Kubra in a bit of a compromising position. Going down to less than half HP already. Bullet Time is going to tag him up, but not finish him off. Going to hang tight with about 5%, and I don't know why. Just an unfortunate play there for Frez, going after the ward in an area that was definitely confiscated by York territory. Nice ulti there from Jungler Pain to make the maximum amount of punishment in that situation. Rift Herald going to come out to play as well. This mid turret is going to get absolutely slaughtered in this case. May not even need the Rift Herald hit. That is going to end up being the Rift Herald hit that takes it down here. Can they get themselves an inhibitor turret? I don't think they're too focused on it. Active Force getting himself in a rough spot between a pony and a demon. Which one do you wish to fight up against? And it's going to be the pony securing that one. They're going to try and jump onto Logia, which granted they very well might get him down, but it's not going to be the case. Jungler is going to get the kill onto Lassie. And Cooper finds himself elimination. We have the pony going on a tear here. And shut down now onto Logia as well. We have ourselves an ace. I didn't even see all the Saints show up for that fight, but apparently they all do drop here. Beautiful setup for York University. We're able to catch Active Force a little bit out of position, completely punishing him out in that situation. The rest of the Saints tried to back him up in that case, but it just did not work in the slightest. They're going to lose an inhibitor as well as one of the Nexus turrets. So defense up against super minions is going to be difficult now for St. Clair. Over a 10k gold block or gold deficit in this situation. I feel like they're out in this situation as the hope for a uncharacteristic overextension from the side of York University, and then basically just trying to farm yourself to late game. Of course, we're only at the 20-minute mark, and a Nexus turret has fallen here, so this is definitely a bit of a speed run coming out here from the side of York University. Doing a lot of damage quickly. But they're going to try and make something happen. They blow basically everything onto Invent, but they do get the Solar Flare. They do get the kill over to Lassie. So this could be the start of what they're looking for. Mienso is going to get the kill onto the next one. So they do manage to get themselves a double. One of them, of course, going over to Lassie, so trying to jumpstart him a little bit more. Dragon should be around the corner here, but Jungler in Pain is nearby as well. 6 kills and 7 assists with no deaths to the name of Jungler in Pain. Going to be another Infernal Drake right now. York University has one already on deck, and geez, Cabstract is just doing so much damage, even to just Kubra. Imagine if that hits Lassie in this situation here. And this is a perfect spot for an Orianna to go play ball, considering everyone's grouping up, trying to make the play. The Saints are actually going to drop off of it. Jungler in Pain going to find himself a double, and the Saints just absolutely evaporate. And it's going to be a brutal kill here for the side of York University. Yet another ace triple goes over to Cabstract. And in theory, they don't even have to worry about the Dragon. Minions are on the Nexus turret. This is game in this situation. In fact, it may be game to the point where the server just says, no, we're not going to see the ending of the game, because you know exactly what happened. That's actually really odd here. What happened here? I have no idea what happened in that situation, but it seems like the game froze up. I could not have done that better if I tried, but it looks like in the situation, I'm going to double check, but I'm going to assume that's York finished off there. Sorry, I'm going to have to try and rejoin here. No, that did end up being it. So unfortunately, not seeing the specific conclusion, but that was the fight that did finish off the job there for St. Clair. Just, there was so much damage so quickly that there is basically nothing the Saints could try and do. If they sat back and tried to farm up, like I was suggesting, they're still giving away objectives. So it was absolutely like lose-lose, regardless of what you try to do there. Trying to get the Victor and the Tristana and the Irelia to late game may have been the win condition. As we can see, this York squad was definitely strong enough to not let the Saints get anywhere near that win condition. But still, GG's nonetheless. I'm still, impressed with this York University squad. They did a very fantastic job today. I do still want to give GG's to the St. Clair squad. I know I may have been a little bit hard on them today, but of course, I do mean this because I just want to see them do well. I don't ever wish to cut anybody down. But still, the fact this team was put together within a week, I know Shadi has been doing a ton of coaching with the squad, about 2 or 3 scrims, I think, just this week alone. And then I think Yuri's doing a bunch of managing as well, so they're trying their best with this new squad. Definitely a lot of new styles and new faces to get warmed up. And of course, this is still the beginning of the season. It's just game number 1. York, of course, going to take this in 2-1 fashion. We will get to see this Saints squad again on Saturday. In fact, let's take a look at that schedule. For Saturday, 3 p.m., League of Legends action returns. This is the beginning of the CLOL season. Worcester Polytechnic Institute is our opponents for the first series. Best of 3 series action once again. Then Saturday, that's a doubleheader. Rainbow Six Siege action, R6 Collegiate Championships are 7 o'clock right after League of Legends matches. And January 24th, Face It CSGO League continues at 5. Then Thursday and Friday, as of right now, would be the next live broadcast, as we do have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the season opening tournament prior to the season for CCL, both on Thursday and Friday. Friday, if we do make it to day 2, I believe that it's a single elimination tournament. So if you do want to make sure that you're notified, get involved with the Saints community, of course, be sure to follow us, Saints Gaming CA, on Twitch here, of course, on Twitter, and or on all social media platforms rather. And also, if you want access to our gigantic VOD archive, be sure to drop a Twitch Prime. Subscribe to our Twitch channel here, of course. One of the new features, be sure to get an ad-free experience here on the St. Clair Saints, or the Saints Gaming CA channel. And it's been a long night. Definitely happy to get back into the swing of things for League of Legends. And I'm looking forward to seeing what our squad can do on Saturday. Of course, one final thank you to everybody for tuning in, supporting your friends, family, and classmates, or just your program here and their esports endeavors. Always a pleasure broadcasting to you as often as we do. And big thank you to the sponsors, of course, that make this all happen. That being St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, St. Clair SRC, Zuckelman School of Business and Information Technology, the St. Clair Alumni Association, and PC Outlet. Lastly, if you do think it's too early, you're dead wrong. We're already recruiting for September 2021. Of course, starting off with the games listed below. You want to get away from the viewer's side of things and want to get yourself actually on the field, be sure to drop an application at the stclairsaints.ca websites /join specifically. Get it in there, get talking early. Don't want to leave it to last second. But with that, we will close out for tonight. So thank you again for tuning in. My name is Daniel Banner, also known as Mr. Danners, your producer, and for tonight, your host as well. It's been an absolute pleasure broadcasting for you guys tonight, and I will see you on Saturday for some more League of Legends and Rainbow Six.